Okay, welcome everybody to Chattering with Nicholas Vince, and this week we're chattering about See No Evil 2. I'm just going to start by welcoming Diane, who's just this moment joined our happy band of... Oh, we lost Diane. But I keep on looking... So the reason why we're laughing is because we keep on seeing Craig, and that's all that we can see of Craig at the very moment. Craig's desperately trying to share his desktop, so you get to see a little bit more of Craig. And we're talking about See No Evil 2. And as I say, so I'm just going to give you a few thoughts that I have about See No Evil 2. Obviously, this is directed by the wonderful Soska Sisters, who I've had the great joy of meeting a couple of times. They really are just terribly exciting, interesting people to talk to, and obviously very, very talented. I fell in love with American Mary, their second movie, because this is such a dark romance. So I was really looking forward to seeing their take on a stalk and slash, because that's all See No Evil is. Having watched the first movie, and we talked about it on this channel a few weeks ago, not good. Really did not enjoy that movie at all. Steve Mason, who's watching us, was saying, you know, are the characters as paper thin in this version as they were in the first movie? No, they're not as paper thin as they were in the first movie. Yeah, that's something that I was really knowing that it was going to be a very different. I think so. What do you require in a stalk and slash movie? You need a villain. You need some sort of monstrous villain who's going to stalk people and slash them. They've got Kane. I think he does a really good job. According to the script, he's 7 foot tall, and I can well believe that. He's a mountain of a man. I have to say, if I ever do a stalk and slash film, I'm going to have twin sisters as my villains stalking people, because I think that would be very, very cool. So, I think I'd have a perfect casting in my mind if we ever do that. The other thing you have to deal with in all your stalk and slash and all your horror movies these days, you've got to deal with mobile phones, because you've got to get rid of them somehow. And it's really nice. You're in a morgue. It's kind of explained very quietly, and you see it happen. Mobile phones go in a safe to stop people taking pictures. Visitors, anybody who enters the morgue, including all the partygoers, your mobile phone is going to safe, so you can't phone out. Oh, incidentally, I should just say, spoiler alert. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've watched the movie. We will give away spoilers inevitably, and I don't want to get people to hold back. When I was talking to the Soska Sisters when I met them, I think probably in Texas, they were saying that they had to ask for rewrites to make the women stronger in the script, and that's what I get. I think you've got some really good kick-ass heroines in there. One of my favourites. Craig, could you give me the next slide, please? We're just waiting for the next slide to come through. There's a wonderful scene with Danielle Harris, who plays Amy. This one. Danielle Harris kicks ass as far as I'm concerned. I mean, she's just great anyway. But this is one of my favourite setups in the movie, because those of you who've watched it, and I'll get your opinions later on, I do think that's great. And I think she survives the movie very well, and she proves herself to be a very strong woman. The other thing I found is remarkably little music in it. They did not use a lot of music to create atmosphere, except very, very subtly. You have the noise of the lift in this scene particularly. There's no real music, but you get the clunks and the sound of the lift. I found that terribly effective. Craig, could I have the next slide, please? I really like these characters, and I think there are a lot of dark moments in this movie, and this is one of my favourite dark moments. Oh, back one, Craig. Craig, this is one of my favourite books. They spend some time literally just in darkness, and it's a great gag where the screen just goes black. what the hell? These people are in the dark. Um, so yeah, I really like that one. To the next slide, please, Craig. And this is my favourite death as well. Favourite in that this is a very sympathetic character who's in a wheelchair, and all you can hear of that is that it's the sorry, all you can see is that this guy has actually got he's paralyzed from the waist down, um, and he can't use his legs, and he doesn't know why he's can't get away from Kane. He knows he's behind him. He's trying to get away in his wheelchair, and I found that very moving. I found that really kind of disturbing. So that was definitely my favorite of the deaths. Now, Diane Cockram, I know, has been trying to join us, but I'm afraid she's failed. She seems to have been kicked off. So I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to eject Craig, because if I eject Craig, then hopefully that would actually give some space for some of these others to come on board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Vicky next. Vicky, can you just unmute yourself? You're muted at the moment. Can you just make sure you're... And Chris Osgood has just joined us as well. I can still see Craig's head. Oh, yeah, he's gone. Actually, you want to? Yes, I'm going to get rid of Craig. Vicky, I'm going to come to you first, if I may. What was your thought on the film? You're still muted as far as... Oh, you got... Yeah, cool, I can hear you, Vicky. Fabulous.
Awesome.
I'd like to get a female start. Oh, hi, Chris.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for joining us. Chris, we're just going to listen to what... Whoops, I've lost somebody else. I think I've just lost Nat. Vicky's, if you'd just like to watch for a bit, we're just going to concentrate on what Vicky is about to tell us about her thoughts of See No Evil 2. Vicky, what were your thoughts of it?
Having not seen See No Evil 1, I was able to quickly pick up on See No Evil 2 about what's going on. So if it could be a stand.
Oh, say again, darling. Oh, Vicky. Vicky. Oh, we're losing.
Yeah?
Sorry, we lost your... You just bleeped out for a bit. We lost the last part of what you were just saying. Try again, darling.
I thought it was... since it was a sequel, I was a little worried that I was going to get lost, but it didn't reference too much of the first movie, other than just the attack over at the hotel, and they pretty much left it at that, so that was pretty cool for me. Sure, there were some moments where it did seem like a little bit cheesy, but that's okay, because who doesn't like cheesy horror movies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What was your... Did you have a particular part of the movie that you...
I was kind of like a little like a little confused at the ending. Throughout the whole movie, I was getting sympathetic towards Seth, because to me, he seemed like a little bit, I could see myself in him, like, I don't have many
Oh, sorry, you're breaking again.
friends.
You said you identified with the character of Seth.
Mm-hmm. Because while all of my other friends are doing things, I'm usually the one like left out. Like recently there was an anime convention over in the Metro Detroit area where I'm from, and nobody invited me.
Oh no!
I know.
We all say
But I got to go to a midnight showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, so it was a lot better.
There's nothing can beat Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No, so at the end I was a little confused when Kane managed to catch up with him. I was like, is he dead? Is he still alive? All we know is that he got his eyes gorged out.
That's interesting. I'm just gonna Mick, you're muted at the moment. Would you like to unmute yourself just so you can join the conversation? And Chris, hi Chris, we can hear you.
How you doing?
Cool. And Mick we can hear, and Steve we can hear, and Eric we can hear as well. Okay, guys, I'm just going to open this up now. But I think Vicky has made a really interesting statement about he gets his eyes gouged out. That was the one thing I was having watched the first movie. That was Jacob Goodnight's thing. He gouged your eyes out in the nastiest way possible. I don't think there's a good way of gouging your eyes out.
With a spoon.
With a spoon. One spoon under anaesthetic. Yeah, but certainly not a 7-foot tall WWE wrestler gouging your eyes out. Obviously didn't happen in real life. So I kept on thinking, oh, he's not gouging anybody's eyes out. And then, of course, he gets to the very last kill of the film, and yes, he's gouged the eyes out. So, yeah, it's a very good point, Vicky. I don't know whether Seth is dead. He might come back because it's kind of normal, but, I mean, that was one of my moments as well, is the fact that you killed off Danielle Harris, but she was the last girl standing, and she normally they normally survive. So yeah, I was a bit shocked by that. Thanks for joining us again, Nat. I'm just going to Steve. What were your thoughts of the movie? What did you think of the movie?
Catherine Isabel delivered another great performance.
Right. Steve, do you want to look more at the camera? There we are. Ah, we can see you. That's much nicer. You're saying that
Catherine Isabel's performance was outstanding.
Cool. What does everybody else think about Catherine's performance?
It was a little over the top, I think, in parts. The sex scene.
Really?
Well, I don't know. It was kind of like a comedy, a bit comic relief. I felt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. What does everyone else think about the sex scene in the morgue? I
really like the tension.
This is Chris. Chris, you've got the light behind you. If you get the light in front of you, I mean, it's a very great shadow effect we're getting of you, but...
Oh, okay. All right. Let me change this around a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like the Cenobites are coming.
It does look like you're absolutely right. So Mick was saying that, yeah, it's kind of over top sex scene. What does everyone else think of it, of the sex scene in the morgue?
When I say over the top, I didn't mean bad. I think it's well acted, and she's a great actress. I don't know. I just felt a bit tongue in cheek, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like the way she, when she kissed him, it was like she was bringing him back to. She brought him back to life, like she was like the princess kissing him, and it actually brought him, it kind of brought him too. It was like kind of like the catalyst of everything. I thought it was cool.
Do you know, I've not got that at all. Anybody else get that?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing of like a Sleeping Beauty effect. For a moment, though, I thought she was going to actually start committing necrophilia.
I know.
It's a bit creepy. I think, isn't that's like one of the main things of the slasher movie, though, isn't it? If somebody's having sex, then something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is one of the tropes of a slasher movie, is that if you have sex, you are going to die.
Did anybody notice the big dick in the jar?
I didn't. Where was that? I didn't see that.
It's near the end. It's like in where he was hanging out at the end. There's a dick pickling in a jar.
I remember the the Soska Sisters mentioning about that during their luggage and decrypt interview, and I was looking for it, and I totally missed it. I have to watch it again to find it.
Search for the pickled dick.
Yep.
Yes, I had completely forgotten that reference, and yeah, I will now have to go and search for the pickled dick.
Yeah.
You're right.
I love the way there was like exit signs all over the place, so they can. Like, everywhere they went, there was an exit sign, which was fantastic.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yes, there was exit signs, and there was, and actually something that is one slide I forgot to get Craig to show. One of the big problems with what is effectively a haunted house, the place in which they're trapped, is these beautiful, bright, shiny, clean floors.
Yes.
Which they're all slipping and sliding all over. Whenever they try and run from anybody tries to run, whether or not they've already got blood on their shoes, because everything's so beautifully, spotlessly clean. The floor is really nice and bright and shiny. And
the floor was too clean.
yeah, the floor was too clean. You kind of want it to be in a morgue, I guess.
And I love the mom.
The mom?
Yep.
The mom was fantastic. She was great.
We mean the mom from the first movie, or the one lying on the slab?
Well, yes, on the slab, yes. Yeah, her. And the old black and white images of her. That was fantastic, talking to him. That was good. I like that.
Yeah. One of the things I really liked about it was that it paid respect to the first movie. It really did pay respect to the first movie by using all those flashbacks and so on. I was reading around the reviews and said, there's not enough gore in this movie. Most of the gore comes from the black and white flashbacks. And I'm thinking, not really. I think, the deaths are quite good. There was enough. I thought they were really nice.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Nat, we've not heard much from you, Nat. What do you think of this?
Catherine Isabel was my favorite part of the film in general, because I loved her over-the-top performance, because that sort of comic relief, sex-crazed character is always male in these films. That is always a male sidekick character. And it was so cool to see her play that.
That's very interesting. I'd not made that leap at all. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely correct. And I can't remember if I already mentioned this, but the fact that yes, I did mention this. The fact that they had to rewrite the female characters to make them stronger. I think you're absolutely correct. Yeah, that was brilliant. Anyone else? Eric, we haven't heard much from you, sir. What's your view of the movie? Oh, Eric, I'm so sorry. We cannot hear you. Can you just check you're not muted? You're not muted, but we can't hear you. How
about now?
That's good. That's much better.
Okay. I was looking at how they put the film together. They were using much longer. Excuse me a second. They were using some much longer takes. In other words, instead of just fast cuts, they were bringing you through like the lift. It's just they extended it a little bit longer than what you're normally getting with slasher films, really building up the tension. They're not just focusing on people's faces during reactions to like lead you into what's going to happen next. And the characters are really strong in the movie. I mean, even in the slapstick kind of scenes, like where they just they focused on developing the character. The first movie, the characters were really kind of there. This one, they kind of let you read into them a little bit more, feel for the characters.
Cool. Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is one of the things that we've all been saying, is that basically I don't know what everyone else thinks, but personally I think they're just better developed characters.
Yeah, it was a much more enjoyable film than the first one. It's like they really let you actually get into a story rather than just a gore fest.
I
So,
think
yeah.
also the standard of the actors is a lot higher because, I mean, Catherine and Daniela are proven horror queens, aren't they? So it's they've been around for a long time. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree, and I thought that the male guys, all four of the guys are attractive, interesting actors, and they did. I presume it's Kaj, Eric Erickson as Seth. I thought he did a really nice job of the nerdy guy who's terribly shy and doesn't want to, is too shy to ask out the really beautiful girl who he works with.
Jalal and Simmons did a good job too.
Say again, please, Steve.
Jalal and Simmons did a good job too. She played like the kind of the hot chick.
Kayla, who leaps on Amy's brother.
Yeah, and did you notice they dressed up Amy's brother as Ash from Evil Dead?
Oh.
You mean for the color of the trousers and the kind of the blue?
Yeah.
I've not made that. See, this is why I ask you guys to come on, because you know these things so much better than I do. I had not made that, and I was just watching Evil Dead, something on Evil Dead this evening. You're absolutely right. There's a definite reference there. So, here's a question for everybody. Would you recommend this movie to your friends? Would you recommend?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes, I would. Definitely.
Yes,
It was
I
a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if of all the kills in the movie, and that's really why you watch stalk and slash movies, is to see the kills. There's actually, I mean, the thing is with the first movie, you had 8 deaths that you watched. And I'm trying to think. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, you've only got one less, but you've got a lot more red shirts. It feels like in the first movie to dispose of. Which is your favourite death?
I love the wheelchair scene.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just
That's
swinging the
it.
chaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice long. You feel that one for the person.
I like the slow motion one.
The slow motion one is Catherine Isabel's.
Yeah, with the Phantom camera.
Oh, sorry, with the. Are we talking about the same one? When you say the slow motion, sorry, which character are we talking about, please, Steve?
Oh,
Will.
Christ, I can't remember. Will.
Yes. Where they basically. That really nice thing of. And they play with this a lot. Am I going to leave my friends? Can I get out? And this has to be one of the hugest morgues in the country because it takes 10 minutes to find your way out of it. They say at one stage.
And I love the way that he was able to find the key to the padlock, but he ended up this old skeleton key at the very bottom there. That was hilarious. And he didn't know what key. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that whole thing is like, I'm going to save you. I'm going to rip the thing off your mouth so you can speak. Run is what I'm going to say to you. The thing I've been telling you to do all the time. Go away and save yourself.
Yes.
Which I thought was really nice with Will, because any person who walks up to somebody and says, I'm not wanting to be the dick here, yeah, that means you're being a dick. When he tries to warn off Seth at the beginning of the movie, you think, yeah, I'm really not going to worry if you get killed. But, he kind of proved himself by the end. I really like Catherine Isabel's death. This is a terrible way of talking about people.
Yes.
is that really nice shot. Is like, oh, he's going to take her head off. Oh no, he doesn't take her head off. Oh, he's really gouged her, and then he does that, and you get the blood spurting all over the.
That was good.
Mhm.
That was great.
Particularly as you've got her friend watching, kind of helpless through the window.
And then there was a splatter on the window right afterwards, which was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, really nice. Okay, so we kind of like all the deaths. Really, I'll talk to Catherine Isabel and Michael Eklund as Holden in the wheelchair are probably our favourite deaths. Okay, there was one moment that really made me jump in my chair and startled the dog whilst I was watching it. I'll tell you in a bit, but were there any moments that really made you jump or you found particularly tense?
The elevator scene.
At the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah, and the elevator scene at the beginning, anybody else get a jump?
Yeah, the elevator scene.
Elevator scene. Beautifully done. It's the same as mine. It's so classic. You know you're being built up for something. And that thing of the doors closing on her while she's trapped in there again.
Yes.
Because it's interesting. I think one of the reasons I hadn't made the connection of the kiss waking him up is because in my mind it's established he's not dead in the ambulance. Because you're not quite sure if you see his hand move in the ambulance or whether it's the ambulance moving around that's causing
Yeah.
the hand to move.
Yeah.
But in my mind, there's a really good chance he's just going to sit up and get her. So yeah, I jumped in my chair when I watched.
The whole first bit like that is very similar to Friday the 13th Part 4, when Jason gets wheeled into the hospital there, and you see, is he moving or is he not moving, and then the doctor ends up going into a room with the nurse, and it's not too dissimilar.
Yeah, it reminded me of Halloween 2 as well.
Yeah.
Is that Chris who was saying that? Yeah. Yeah, somebody else pointed that. I was talking to a mate of mine, Mike, this afternoon, and you were saying exactly the same thing. Halloween 2, where it's you go into the hospital. You're finishing a few minutes after the first one finished, and so on. Cool. All right. So, what do we think of the score, by the way? Do we like the music?
Yes.
Yes.
I like the theme tune, and as I say, there was remarkably the effective use of the children's voices. Can anybody tell me what they were actually singing? I couldn't quite hear. No, I wasn't sure.
No.
I wasn't sure if it was Ring a Ring a Roses at one stage because I thought I heard the line "All Fall Down."
Yeah, I heard that too, or at least I thought I did.
Yeah, I heard
as
that.
well.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's but I thought it. That's very weird. I sound as I've gone all echoey, as if I'm actually coming in. Oh, there we are.
That's better.
Yeah. Okay. Very strange. I was almost hearing myself coming through one of your speakers. That was very odd. Yeah. So the music, I thought it was nice and done because it was so subtle, and they didn't use a lot of music to build the tension. In the lift scene, it was more or less. I think there were some notes playing underneath, but it was the sound of the lift banging around. Cool.
Yeah, one thing that I really enjoyed was they used his strengths. I've been following Kane for a long time in wrestling, and like the cage match scene at when he was like in his cage and then he was out back, it was almost like a no holds barred match. The way they kept setting him up so that he was very comfortable doing all of the stunts and everything. I mean, if you see him as a wrestler, you could really see how he just naturally did all of the things. He wasn't like trying to overcompensate for something he didn't know how to do. That was fantastic. I thought that was really good.
Can I just? How many of you guys have followed Kane or seen Get Kane on? I've never watched him. I don't watch.
Yep, I've seen him live in Augusta, Maine here, and it was fantastic. I mean, he's really good.
I'm going to see him live again in December.
Oh, really? Are you a big
Yep.
wrestling fan, Steve?
Oh yeah, been watching for as long as the Twins have, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we only had one channel before we had cable, and that came on like every Wednesday or something. And I remember watching when he started. So yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the film represented the WWE in a fair way, in a good way? Did it link to the WWE at all in your mind?
I thought it did.
I think they've been doing well with the promotion of the film on Raw and SmackDown.
Because a lot of the other WWE films don't really. There's one with Halle Berry, isn't there, called The Call, I think, which has nothing to do with wrestling whatsoever. I think they're branching out into more mainstream.
Yeah, I like how Kane invented his own character. Even when he was like picking out his weapon, I noticed he went by the Michael Myers knife and he went right down the table and he grabbed his own hook knife with the jaggedness. Even though he picked up a mask, he still had almost like that Hannibal Lecter back thing that he hooked onto it. So he just completely. It was nice. It was nice the way he did that.
I think in the extras on the DVD, Soska said that they had to have the knife specially made for this one,
Nice.
and you've got that hook on the end, which reflects the hook from the first movie as well. Fernando Mancinelli, who's watching us and has been posting comments on here, was saying, Mick, there you are, is that he believes the song they were singing is "Jesus Loves You."
That's fitting.
That's very fitting.
Yeah, that sounds, yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So we talked about favorite deaths, which is what you tend to talk about. We've talked about favorite scare moments. We talked about the music. We talked about technically. I think the colorization. I like all those shots of the long corridors in this huge building where all the doors are locked and nobody's got the keys. And if you have got the keys, then it's to a different part of the building. I really liked the way they set up all these things, that these people really do not just stand a chance. But I just wanted to come back to you, and I'll work my way through all of you. Did you have any final comments? Anything we haven't mentioned that you'd like to say? Chris, what's your how would you sum up this movie, or your thoughts on this movie?
Who, me?
Yep.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're really a fan of the classic '80s horror movie that I actually grew up watching and loving, I think you're going to really love this movie. I mean, it has every element. It draws you right in from the beginning, and like when she was lighting when the two were standing in the dark. Every time they lit the match, I'm like, okay, his head's going to appear. His head's going to appear. Come on, I wanted it, and then it did, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was just a great. I just think it was a great movie, and it was a lot of fun. I actually found myself laughing in a lot of parts that, just because it was like a roller coaster ride or going through a haunted house. I really loved each jump scare that happened. It was fantastic. So definitely get out there and watch it if you can. It was a great movie.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Chris. Mick, you're next in line. What's your summary of it?
I thought it was a good slasher movie. I always loved Daniela Harris in stuff. I think she's a really good actress. Like I said the other day, I think it's a strange choice for the sisters to do as a second film. Well, not the second film, but the film after American Mary, because it's like a sequel to a slasher film. When I thought they might kind of try and break forward, you know, a bit more like a Tarantino style, maybe a bigger budget film as the next one. But as a slasher film itself, it's good.
Okay, interesting. Okay, Nat, what about you?
I thought it was a vast improvement over the first one. I think the Soska Sisters did a great job. I think that Danielle Harris was fantastic, and I loved the feminist perspective coming in through the rewrite. You could almost track how the movie was rewritten, but I thought it was overall a great job for their new movement, and I can't wait for the next one.
Which is Vendetta, I believe.
Yep.
Should be the next one coming out, which I'm really excited about because it's got Dean Cain in it, who I loved as Superman in Clark and Lois. I think he's brilliant, and he's done some really good. He's done some other really, really nice stuff, including a film called The Broken Hearts Club, which is hard to get hold of. But I know the sisters was telling me he's very proud of that movie, and I think it's a great movie as well. Cool, thank you very much indeed. Steve, what's your summation of the movie?
I thought it was a great 80s throwback, and I love the feminist rewrite, and it made the characters stronger, and the sisters keep making hit after hit, and I can't wait for Vendetta and Painkiller Jane.
Say again, Steve, we lost you just at the end.
Oh, I said that the sisters did a good job with the rewrite, and they added a nice feminist touch to the script, and I can't wait for Painkiller Jane and Vendetta.
Cool. Yes, Painkiller Jane, yes. Yeah, that's another one. I'd be really interested in seeing what they come up with that one. Eric, you're muted at the moment. Do you want to unmute yourself? If you can. Yay, you're unmuted. What's your thought of it? What's your summation of it? Yeah, sorry, still can't hear you, Eric. Whatever it was that was, I think you. No, you there? No, sorry, Eric. I think it's something to do with your microphone. I'll move on to Vicky. I'll try you again in a moment, Eric, if we can get that sorted out. Vicky, what's your summation of the movie?
I thought it was a good movie. It had like all those throwbacks to like some classic 80s movies. Like there were parts of it, especially the flashbacks, that reminded me a bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And if you haven't seen the first one, like me, it's okay to jump in and see the sequel because, yeah, you wouldn't be too lost.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very true. And trust me, you really don't want to bother about seeing the first one. Sorry, guys. But,
Yeah, I rewatched the first one. It was horrible.
I think that's why I felt it was a surprise that they'd done the second one, because the first one was so bad.
But I think we're all agreed that they've made a vast improvement over the first.
Yeah.
Over the first.
I agree.
And I think it was really interesting. I see what Mick's saying, but I think in the real, in life, filmmakers will go where people will give them money to make movies, and I think it's very sensible to, they're obviously big fans of WWE. Before all this kicked off, they're huge fans of horror anyway, and I know Vendetta, from what I understand, what they've been telling me is more of an action movie rather than a horror movie. It's certainly got a high body count, though, much higher than this one.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's going to be interesting, and I think that's right. I think it's great. They're kind of one way of looking at it is it's a way of paying your dues to all this stuff.
Yeah, I like supporting them because they're Canadian as well.
Yeah. Go Canada.
The visual style is excellent. I think it really is beautiful film.
Yeah. Yes. No. And again, absolutely agree with you. The color, the toning, and so on, but also those beautiful long shots, as you were saying earlier on, really help make this a very spectacularly beautiful film. Let me just try and come back to Eric. Let me see if we've got Eric. Can you speak to us? Can we hear you? No, sorry. I think we're not going to. Oh, it's such a shame. I think we've lost Eric as far as that's concerned. Steve Mason says, does this film leave the sequel possible for number 3? Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's fine. That's right. And I just got a message from somebody was telling me I can actually share some news with you, which I will share with you in just 2 seconds. I'm going to wrap this up fairly soon. Yes, it does leave it open, and definitely Jacob Goodnight is standing. Cool. All right then, guys. I just wanted to thank you very much indeed for joining me. I'm just going to start sharing some news with you. Just before I let you all go and sign away, I just wanted to pass on to you. The shirt I'm wearing was a gift. You may have seen it on my Facebook timeline, and I'm just reaching over because I received this from a gentleman called Richard Liebman, which is my ceramic.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's sweet.
Oh, little cheddar bunny.
That is so cool.
Eric's giving this a thumb up as well. Back in the day, I was once given a T-shirt with the Seno bunnies on it.
I want one.
They are available. He does have a shot. He does have, and the T-shirts are available as well, and they're very reasonably priced from what I can see as well. I'm going to try and you can see the back of my T-shirt. That is the name of his. Can you see the back of the T-shirt? I'll put it up. It's Richard Liebman. The T-shirts are available. The bunny is available. Yesterday, I was filming all day yesterday. Literally, I was doing I was filming all day yesterday. We did 30 sides of 30 pages of dialogue. Just over 6 hours. This is for a new film called Hollower. It's coming from Myco Entertainment. I'm not going to tell you anything more about it for the moment. But I will, in the next week or so, I think in the next few days, they're actually going to be officially announcing, and you'll start seeing some stuff coming out. Not quite sure when it's going to come out, when or where. I don't have those details yet, but I had a great deal of fun doing it. And as I say, this was a lot of dialogue. We had a great deal of fun doing it. It'll be really interesting to see what it's going to be like. Philip, you just joined us just as I'm wrapping down. I'm so sorry. Oh man, you've just missed this. I'm so sorry. So that's going to be coming out. So the other plug that I have to give is to Simon Bamford, who is going to be joining me next week on Chattering with Nicholas Vince. I'm going to be doing the Luggage in the Crypt interview with Simon, to which you are all invited.
Thank you.
Please post your if you want to be involved. The way this tends to work is that we have so many people wanting to be on board that I tend not to be able to do the film strip and bring everybody in realistically. So we use the Q&A app extensively. So if you have questions for Simon, which I will do my best to get to at the end of the show. If you've watched any of them, they always go on. If I can bring you into the film strip, I will. But if you do have a question for Simon, please just go to the event page and Google, use the Q&A app, and we will. That's your best chance of actually getting on. Okay, right then, guys. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all very much, Philip. I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you.
Just joined
Nick.
very.
Too late.
I'm so sorry.
I can't wait for next week.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much indeed, guys. It's very good. This has been Nicholas Vince. I've been chattering with these wonderful people who you can see at the bottom of your screen. With Chris, Philip, who joined us. Didn't really get to chatter with you, Philip.
Oh, sorry.
With Mick, with Nat, with Steve, with Eric, and with Vicky. We had contributions from Steve and Fernando and Diane as well. And I just wanted to say thank you all very much for joining me. This has been fun. What I will do is I'll put something up on Facebook. Any suggestions for another movie that we want to go and see? I was thinking about Horns with Daniel Radcliffe, but some where we can just get together and chat about movies, because I really do enjoy these. This has been Chattering with Nicholas Vince, chattering about See No Evil 2 with the Soskas. Bye, folks. Take care.
Bye.
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 Bye.